Have you ever heard a song and realized it wasn't written for the world? It was written for one person who never got to hear it. Some songs come from inspiration. Some come from loss. Some come from friendships you didn't know were holding you together until it was too late. James Taylor wrote two songs just like that, and he wrote them 15 years apart, and he wrote them after losing someone he loved very much. Tonight, I'm going to talk about those songs. Now, I'm going to take a ride on my bike, and I'm going to give you the clues. Let's see if you can guess not one, but both before the ride is over. Welcome to Sunset Cruising. There's something about loss that makes you hear music differently. Not at first. Loss just kind of feels like silence, like the world around you is moving, but something inside you isn't. Long before he became a household name, James Taylor was a young man struggling with more pain than most people knew about. Yeah, he had the album, he had the career, he had the fame, he had the future. But inside, he was struggling. Depression, addiction, and questions he didn't have the answer for. But he did have someone in his life who understood him. Her name was Suzanne. She knew him before the fame, before the crowds, before the world expected him to be someone. She was just a friend, someone steady, someone safe. But while James was away trying to build his career, Suzanne passed away. He got the news. He didn't get to say goodbye. He didn't get to see her. And for the first time in his life, he was left alone with thoughts he couldn't resolve. Grief has a way of asking questions you don't always have the answer for. Why now? Why her? What could I have done? James didn't have the answer, so he started to write. Not because he wanted to, because he needed to. He didn't write for an audience, and he didn't write for success. He wrote to talk about the way he was feeling, about losing his friend, about not knowing how to deal with the feelings he was having, about finding his way without a map. He wrote about being alive, about the highs and the lows, about the beauty of life, and about the pain that can bring you to your knees. He didn't know it at the time, but he was writing a song that millions would turn to in their own moments of loss. But at that moment, he wasn't writing it for them. He was writing it only for Suzanne. Years passed and life moved forward. James moved on. He found his footing. He survived things he didn't know he could survive. And then one day, the phone rang. Another friend was gone, but this time, it was someone that the whole world knew. Someone who the world thought would live forever. But behind all the laughter, behind all the fame, he was struggling with his own problems, much like James. But James' friend didn't make it. He lost his battle. When James heard the news, it didn't just break his heart. It brought him face to face with his own past, with his own story, and he realized how differently it could have ended. It could have ended like his friend, but it didn't. He was still here, still breathing, still living. And this time, when he sat down to write, something was different. Years earlier, he had written from inside the pain, but now he was writing from the other side, not as someone who had been lost, but someone who had been found. He wasn't asking questions anymore. He was acknowledging something deeper, that survival isn't guaranteed, that every day is something that you're given, not something that you earn. He wrote about gratitude. He wrote about grace. He wrote about the miracle of still being here when others weren't. In the past, he had written from pain. Now, he was writing because he was grateful. The first one was written by a young man trying to understand loss. The second one was written from an older man understanding survival. Both were written for friends who never got the chance to grow older. Both were written by someone who did. And maybe that's why these songs are still so popular today. Because if you live long enough, you're going to experience loss. You're going to experience moments that you didn't choose, moments that change you, moments that make you question things, and moments that leave marks that nobody else can see. But if you're still here, there's a reason for that. There's meaning in that. There's a purpose in that. And there's a reason that your story is still being written. Sometimes the most powerful things aren't written in the course of a song. They're written in the truth of life, that through it all, some way, somehow, we're still here. So are you ready for the reveal? Well, the first song was Fire and Rain, written for Suzanne. And the second song was That's Why I'm Here. It was written after the death of John Belushi, James's friend. Both written by the same man, a young man struggling with loss, and an older man grateful that he was still here. Some songs remind us of moments. Some songs remind us of people. And some songs are here to remind us how grateful we should be that our story is still being written. I'm so grateful for a man named James Taylor who took the time to share his heart in both of these songs. He gave us one song to remind us that we can overcome loss, and he gave us a song to remind us how grateful we should be that we have life. Thank you, James. You truly are a legend. And if you have a particular song or artist you would like me to share the rest of the story about, just let me know. You can post that in the comments. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me this evening and letting me share about the legendary James Taylor. It's been a pleasure to be with you. It's Dave Davlin, and I will see you on my next Sunset Cruise.